Hi again, Diana Riggs, speech pathologist and educator. Now we are going to explore a range of tips and also myths surrounding controversial sight words. So, tip number one, please start with your young students or your children that are transitioning to literacy. Please start by teaching the prerequisite skills first so that they understand this and have the skills to process words. And what are those skills? They need to know a lot of the alphabet and the alphabet sounds. They also require the phonemic awareness skill of blending so that they understand how a word is formed. It makes no sense to me that with our young children we are sending home sight words before you have developed those two important prerequisite skills. Number two, this also makes no sense to me, providing mixed lists of sight words. It is the more difficult way for a child to master sight words. Your alternative is to group your words so that rather than there's a random range of words, that actually you're teaching a strategy and a way to process those words. So I would, and I'm not going to get into which set of sight words because there's Oxford, there's Dolch, there's Salisbury, there's Cord, there's a range of Fry, there are sets and sets of sight words. But what you need to do, regardless of what set of sight words you're using, group them so that you're giving your students a strategy to master that set of sight words. Firstly, all your words that are decodable, they're regular. I call them my green words, the go words. You should be able to master these first. Then we've got the words where you can still use that decoding principle, but you've got to stop and think because there is one element of irregularity. You've got your words next where students require phonic concepts. So either you've got to teach those phonic concepts, then those words start making sense. Or you're going to have to progress through a range of phonic concepts because most of the words in this category are regular words. Children just require the phonic knowledge. Then you've got your words which are highly irregular and a visual strategy will be required. So a sample of what are green words, regular decodable words. Children need the O and the oo sound. They need E, they need all, they need TH makes a th and the sound. They require phonic knowledge, and then these words are also regular. Hannah, in a dated piece of research, really was insightful. She said 50% of words in English are regular, and then there are another 36% where there is 1 degree of irregularity, which you still can use that decoding principle. So all of those green words, all of these blue words, they're regular words. Then there's another set of words where 36% of words where actually there's 1 degree of irregularity. Find, oh, that's got to be find. Were, as, was, oh, that's got to be was. Her, as, has, oh, that's got to be has. A decoding principle is possible, but there is 1 degree of 1 element of irregularity. Then you've got your red words, and this is your smallest group of words, and they are your most difficult to deal with because they are highly irregular. So, tip number 3, start with the easiest first. Start with your regular decodable words. Start with the phonic concepts that you have already taught. Then gradually keep adding in phonic concepts and progressing across to those other 2 elements. Tip number 4, know your theory. What does the theory on sight words actually tell us? Sight words were set up to assist early readers and to transition children into reading. You can use them in your spelling process, but actually sight words were set up to assist early reading. Now, if your sight word process is not just for early reading, it is for spelling and also writing, you need to know that children will learn to master the recognition of those words first before the spelling of those words and before they transition into writing. That is the typical pathway. Tip number 5, are sight words relevant to middle and upper primary? Well, technically no, because why? What does your theory say? Sight words were set up for early reading. Now, if you're in a year 5-6 class and you've got children with junior ability for reading, well, yes, sight words are going to be relevant. Or what could happen in middle and upper primary is and you sometimes see this in the junior primary, the children can read the words, the reading's taken off, and it's the spelling and writing that lags. Predominantly, it's not going to be the green words, the regular decodable words that students lag in. I love this sound out and think. We read the word as what, but you're going to spell it as wat. We read the word as water, but you're going to spell it watter. We read and say the word as people, but what's the tip? You've got to slow down and think about this word in a slightly funny way that can assist your decoding principle and your spelling process. We say many, but you're going to spell it manny. We say other, but you're going to spell it other. And then you've got your red words, or those words that are on those sight words lists that are used by the junior primary, where the children have not mastered the transference of these into writing. What is a tip for said? Silly ants in dustbins. Use a mnemonic. Could. Oh you lucky duck, or oh you little devil. Were, oh you lucky duck, or oh you little devil. A process, an acronym. What if children are struggling with you or your, what's an acronym? What's a funny little sentence that's going to help assist that word? And I'm not so much a fan of why are you says you. I think give them a mnemonic, give them an acronym that helps. Tip number 6. How do we assess sight words? We'll be very clear on whether you're assessing reading or spelling, or you separate the reading from the spelling. In assessing reading, if there's a reliance on sight words, you're still at the acquisition and the practicing phase. If you read the word correctly but slowly, you still need more practice. If it's rapid, instant recognition of those words, but only in games and flashcards, no, you're still at the acquisition phase. It's only when those sight words are recognised rapidly and instantly in the context of reading books, when the words are tiny, that you've mastered those words. And just because you've acquired those words in reading does not mean that you've got them in spelling. 2 attempts at the spelling word, no, not good enough. You still need more practice. You're still at the acquisition phase. Correct spelling but slow, no, you still need more practice. Correct spelling but only in spelling tests, no, you're still at the acquisition phase. Mastery is when those spelling words transfer across to class written work. If you require more information, I would suggest the online courses, the junior primary teaching of synthetic phonics, or actually how do we teach children to learn to read, spell and write, and what is the place of sight words within that context? Keep those questions running. All the best. Diana Riggs signing off for now.